Hello, my name is Abdulsamad. This is my first lesson on DaVinci Resolve, and I'll be focusing mainly on the use of DaVinci Resolve's Fusion for motion graphics. Everything I'll be doing will be on the free version, but you can get the studio version through a one-time purchase, which includes a lifetime of updates and even cooler features. By the end of this lesson, I want to have helped you understand at least a single concept in Fusion. Nodes can appear complicated, so I'm going to try and do this in the most basic way that I can. First, we set up a project. To do that, we open DaVinci Resolve and click on New Project. We give it a name and click on Create. It opens up in the Cut page of DaVinci Resolve, and we move to the Edit page by clicking the bottom icon. We click the Settings icon at the bottom right to change our project settings. By default it's in 1920x1080 pixels at 24 frames per second. I'm okay with that, so I'll leave it as it is. Make sure your workspace layout is the same as mine. If it's not, we can go to Workspace and click on Reset UI Layout. I want to make sure we're all seeing the same thing so it'll be easier for you to follow. Next, we create a Fusion composition. In order to work in Fusion, we need to create a Fusion composition. Now there are three ways we can achieve that. 1. Through the Media Pool. 2. Through the Effects panel. 3. Directly from the Fusion page. To create a Fusion composition through the Media Pool, we make sure the Media Pool panel is active, then we right-click on it and there's New Fusion Composition. We click on it and we get these options where we can set the frame rate and duration for the clip. I'm okay with this, so I'll go ahead and click Create, and it'll do that. We can then drag and drop it to our timeline. To create a Fusion composition through the Effects panel, we click on it. We go to Effects and there's Fusion Composition, so we can drag and drop it to our timeline. To create a Fusion composition directly from the Fusion page, we head over to the Fusion page and click on the background node icon, and a Fusion composition will automatically be created. If we go back to the Edit page, we can see our Fusion composition on the timeline. Now we are going to talk about nodes, which are the main building blocks in Fusion. To make this easier for a beginner, we are going to classify nodes into 5. This is not a standard classification but a personal one, just to make things easier. They are: 1. Generators. 2. Merge. 3. Modifiers. 4. Masks. 5. Media out. Generators. I like to consider generators as anything that generates an image. This can be backgrounds, texts, pictures, and videos. Merge. As the name implies, a merge node is used to merge or bring together two generated images. It can be a background and a text, a video and a text, a background and a picture. Unlike layers where you just place one layer above another, with merge nodes, how you connect two inputs to a merge node determines which is the background and which is the foreground. You'll understand this better when we work on a project. Modifiers. Modifiers are like effects we add, or adjustments we make to a generated image. Masks. We use masks to limit where an image should be generated or where an effect should be added. Media out. All our nodes, no matter how long the chain, must be ultimately connected to the media out in order to be displayed on the viewer and rendered. Now to make this even simpler, I'd like us to assume we're filthy rich, and want to construct a house. Filthy rich because at any time we can decide to bring down, move, or modify a building component. Next, I want us to consider nodes as commands given to our construction workers, except the media out, who is our project supervisor. Let's consider generators as commands given to construction workers to build a component. It can be a fence, a roof, a wall, or a window. Merge as commands given to construction workers on where to place subsequent building components. Modifiers as commands given to construction workers to adjust or alter. Masks as commands given to the workers on where to limit the building or adjustment. And finally, the media out, who is our project supervisor or observer. With these, we can move to construct our house. We have our project supervisor here already. Make sure the right circle on the node is white. If it's not, click it so we can see our work on the right viewer. We can go ahead and expand the viewer. We'll add a background node, which is a command telling our construction workers to build a component. Let's assume it's a fence in this situation. We connect it to the media out so that we can see it. We can then head over to the inspector and change its color to white. Next we add a text, which is another generator. Let's assume that's the wall of our main building. To make the text visible, we'll need to put it on the foreground. And since we're merging two generators, the background node and the text node, we'll need a merge node, which we said is a command given to our construction workers on where to place subsequent building components. We do that by connecting the nodes to the merge node. The yellow arrow on the merge node indicates the background input, and the green one indicates the foreground. Sometimes you might have the nodes connected to the wrong inputs. You can use Ctrl-T on the keyboard to switch them. Also make sure it's not connected to the blue input, which is the mask input. Now we write a text and we can give it a color. To make this clearer, let's view it in a 3D space. If we place the wall in the background, which is behind our fence, we won't be able to see it since our supervisor is standing inside our fenced area and the fence is taller than the wall. So we add a merge node and place it on the foreground, inside our fenced area. Next we have decided out of nowhere that the painting on our wall is too dull, and we want it to pop. We can do that by adding a glow node, which is a modifier, and as we said before, they are commands given to construction workers to adjust or alter. We do that by placing it between the text and merge node. We click the text node, open up the effects panel. Expand Tools, go to Blur and click on Glow. So add text, make the text glow, place it on top of this background and render. But what if we only want a part of our wall to pop, not because we're saving cost or anything since we're filthy rich, but because we just feel like it? We can go ahead and add a mask, which we said is a command given to our construction workers on where to limit a building or adjustment. We'll add a rectangular mask and connect it to the blue input of the glow node. Remember, we said the blue arrow on a node is the mask input. If we wanted to limit our building instead, we'll connect it to the blue input of the text node. We can move and resize it. We can also invert it, telling our construction workers to make everywhere pop except this area. And finally, we already have all these connected to our media out, so we can go ahead and render. We click on the render page, which is termed Deliver, and type our file name and choose its location. We then choose our file format. I'll go with MP4. We can also choose to render at our project resolution, or a higher or lower one. I'm going to leave this as it is. After we're satisfied with our settings, we click on Add to Render Queue and Render All. That's all for this video. We'll discuss more on nodes, keyframes, and how we can create an animation in the coming videos. Like this video if you find it helpful and subscribe to my channel for more DaVinci Resolve tutorials. Thank you for watching, and do have a great day.